See, here we will see the etiology or causes of an ischemic stroke. See, starting from our beginning of our class, we are so familiar with the word that is atherosclerosis, are also called as fat deposits or plaques. See, I said that it is an 80% causative factor. It is the most causative factor for getting ischemic stroke in 80% of the cases in the patient. Okay, na? And later 20% of the cases are because of a cryptogenic. 20% stroke cases are because of a cryptogenic, means no known cause. This is you can't say that there is so particular cause, so and so particular cause. For that sake, there will be no definite cause or no known cause for getting stroke. Majorly 20% cases are cryptogenic. Finally, okay, bound. Next, what is mean by cardiac embolism? See, cardiac embolism is also one of the cause for getting stroke. See how it means. See, if you want to discuss this, before going to explain this, let us explain. There will be two disease conditions here. That is, one is ischemic stroke and second one is KAD. This is CAD, that is coronary artery disease, and remain first one, that is ischemic stroke. Okay, దీని గురించి తెలిసిందే, ischemic stroke, you all know that. See, ఇక్కడ ఈ కండిషన్ ఏమైతుందంటే ischemic stroke లో బ్రెయిన్ లో ఉన్న ఆర్టరీలో బ్లడ్ క్లాట్ అవుతుంది. బ్లడ్ ఎందుకు క్లాట్ అవుతుంది? ఇంప్రాపర్ బ్లడ్ ఫ్లో జరగడం వల్ల. ఈ ఇంప్రాపర్ బ్లడ్ ఫ్లో ఎందుకు జరుగుతుంది? మళ్ళీ తిరిగి ఇక్కడికి అథెరోస్క్లెరోసిస్. అథెరోస్క్లెరోసిస్ అంటే ఫ్యాట్ డిపాజిట్స్ వల్ల ఈ బ్లాక్ కలర్ మార్క్ అంతా వెళ్ళి ఈ ఆర్టరీలో డిపాజిట్ అయిపోయినప్పుడు బ్లడ్ ఫ్లో అనేది సరిగ్గా జరగదు. బ్లడ్ ఫ్లో సరిగ్గా జరగనప్పుడు బ్లడ్ అనేది క్లాట్ అయిపోతుంది. బ్లడ్ క్లాట్ అయినప్పుడు ఈ కండిషన్లో ఆక్సిజన్ లెవెల్స్ కూడా తగ్గిపోతుంది. ఎప్పుడైతే ఆక్సిజన్ లెవెల్స్ తగ్గిపోతుందో టిష్యూ డెత్ అయిపోతుంది. టిష్యూ డెత్ అయిపోయిందంటే బ్రెయిన్ లో ఉన్న ఆర్టరీ ఏమైతుంది? సెల్స్ అన్ని డెత్ అయిపోతాయి. సెల్స్ డెత్ అయిపోతుంటే ఆ కండిషన్ రిజల్ట్స్ ఇన్ డ్యామేజ్. ఫైనల్లీ లీడ్స్ టు ద కండిషన్ కాల్డ్ యాస్ స్ట్రోక్. స్ట్రోక్ వచ్చే కేసెస్ ఆర్ ఛాన్సెస్ మెజర్లీ. ఓకేనా? ఇది ఇస్కెమిక్ స్ట్రోక్ గురించి. నెక్స్ట్, coronary artery disease. Okay, see, coronary artery disease, this is a heart diagram. Not a broken heart, this is just a heart. Okay, I am not familiar with the diagrams. Okay, next, if you see in this heart, there will be two arteries will be there. We are very familiar with the left coronary artery and right coronary artery. See, if you take one coronary artery for explanation, it will be looking like this. Okay, now what is the function of this coronary artery? See, coronary artery supplies the blood to the heart muscle. Kada heart muscle ki blood supply chesedi coronary artery. అలాంటిది ఈ ఎంబోలై వచ్చి ఇక్కడ ఫామ్ అవుతుంది. సరే, కార్డియాక్ ఎంబోలిజం కి కరోనరీ ఆర్టరీ డిసీజ్ కి సంబంధం ఏంటి? ఉంది, చూడు. ఇప్పుడు కరోనరీ ఆర్టరీలో బ్లడ్ ఎందుకు క్లాట్ అవుతుంది? మళ్ళీ మొదటికి ఇక్కడికి వస్తాం. అథెరోస్క్లెరోసిస్, మళ్ళీ ఫ్యాట్ తీసుకోవడం వల్ల కరోనరీ ఆర్టరీలో క్లాట్ ఫామ్ అయింది. ఫ్యాట్ వల్ల క్లాట్ ఫామ్ అయింది. ఓకేనా? ఈ ఫ్యాట్ వల్ల క్లాట్ ఫామ్ అయింది కాబట్టి బ్లడ్ ఫ్లో అనేది సరిగ్గా జరగక హార్ట్ కి పంపించాల్సిన బ్లడ్ సప్లై సరిగ్గా లేక, ఎందుకంటే ఫంక్షన్ ఆఫ్ కరోనరీ ఆర్టరీ అదే కదా, ఇట్ సప్లైస్ బ్లడ్ టు ద హార్ట్ మజిల్స్. బ్లడ్ సరిగ్గా పంపేది. ఎందుకు పంపేది? క్లాట్ ఫామ్ అయింది. ఎందుకు క్లాట్ ఫామ్ అయింది? మళ్ళీ మొదటికి అథెరోస్క్లెరోసిస్ ఫామ్ అయింది. ఫ్యాట్ డిపాజిషన్ జరిగింది. సో బ్లడ్ ఫ్లో సరిగ్గా జరగదు హార్ట్ మజిల్ కి. కాబట్టి ఆ కండిషన్, అక్కడ వచ్చే కండిషన్ ఏమంటాము? KAD, కొరోనరీ ఆర్టరీ డిసీజ్. ఓకే, అది సరే. మరి కొరోనరీ ఆర్టరీ డిసీజ్ కి కార్డియాక్ ఎంబోలిజం కి డిఫరెన్స్ ఏంటి? లింక్ ఏంటి? కోరిలేషన్ ఏంటి? స్ట్రోక్ కి సంబంధం ఏంటి అంటే ఇక్కడ చూడండి. కార్డియాక్ ఎంబోలిజం, ఎంబోలిజం అంటే ఏంటి మనకు తెలిసిందే, బ్లడ్ క్లాట్ ఆర్ ఎంబోలై. ఈ కరోనరీ ఆర్టరీ రీజన్ లో ఎంబోలై అనేది ఫామ్ అయింది. ఓకేనా? దిస్ ఇస్ ద రెడ్ కలర్ బ్లడ్ క్లాట్. ఇప్పుడు త్రూ దిస్ బ్లడ్ క్లాట్ travels through the cerebral circulation, passes through the carotid artery. నెక్ రీజన్ ఉన్న carotid artery ని పాస్ అవుతూ నీ బ్రెయిన్ లో ఉన్న ఆర్టరీ కి రీచ్ అవుతుంది. ఏంటి? బ్లడ్ క్లాట్. అక్కడికి రీచ్ అయిన తర్వాత మళ్ళీ కథ మామూలే, సరిగా జరగదు, ఆక్సిజన్ సప్లై సరిగా జరగలేదంటే బ్లడ్ ఫ్లో సరిగా ఉండదు, బ్లడ్ ఫ్లో ఎందుకు సరిగా లేదంటే ఇంప్రాపర్ బ్లడ్ ఫ్లో ఉండడం వల్ల, ఆ ఇంప్రాపర్ బ్లడ్ ఫ్లో ఎందుకు ఉండడం వల్ల అంటే ఫ్యాటీ డిపాజిట్స్ వల్ల, మళ్ళీ కదా మొదలుకి ఆక్సిజన్ లెవెల్స్ తగ్గిపోయినప్పుడు కండిషన్ సెల్స్ అన్ని డెత్ అయిపోతాయి, టిష్యూ డెత్ అయిపోతుంది, అప్పుడు రిజల్ట్స్ ఇన్ ఏ కండిషన్ కాల్డ్ యాజ్ స్ట్రోక్. అంటే ఈ కార్డియాక్ ఎంబోలిజం అనేది హార్ట్ లో బ్లాక్ అయిన క్లాట్ సెరిబ్రల్ సర్క్యులేషన్ ద్వారా నెక్ లో ఉన్న కరోటిడ్ ఆర్టరీని పాస్ అవుతూ బ్రెయిన్ లో ఉన్న ఆర్టరీకి రీచ్ అయ్యి ఆ ఎంబోలి అనేది బ్రెయిన్ లో ఉన్న ఆర్టరీలో డిపాజిట్ జరిగి అక్కడ మరి ఆక్సిజన్ సప్లై అందకుండా బ్లడ్ సప్లై అందకుండా, ఎప్పుడైతే బ్లడ్ సప్లై జరగదో ఆక్సిజన్ సప్లై కూడా జరగదు, అక్కడ టిష్యూ డెత్ అయిపోయి ఫైనల్లీ ఈ కండిషన్ కార్డియాక్ ఎంబోలిజం లీడ్స్ టు ద ischemic stroke. So that is why the reason cardiac embolism is one of the cause for getting ischemic stroke conditions. See, these are the three causes I can say majorly for getting ischemic stroke. Okay, nearly 20% of cryptogenic means no known cause. We can't say this is a particular cause for getting ischemic stroke. Okay, nearly 20% are of no known cause cases of ischemic stroke. Okay, this is the overall causes of an ischemic stroke. Signs and symptoms of ischemic stroke. Okay, let us see the symptoms of ischemic stroke one by one. First of all, first symptom is face drooping. Face drooping, also called as face paralysis. This is one of the symptoms you mostly see in the ischemic stroke patients. That is how it occurs in a stroke cases. Means, see, basically when the nerves control the muscles of our face that are damaged in the brain. Actually, there are some muscles in our face. We call it as facial muscles. The facial muscles are controlled by the nerves which are present in our brain. Okay, that are damaged. See, damaged brain only destroys the nerves which are present in our face muscles. Therefore, this type of symptoms you might have seen, that is face paralysis, like face drooping. Okay, next symptoms you are commonly seen in stroke cases, that is weakness of one side of the body. See, what happens in case of weakness of one side of the body in stroke cases? Because when one part of your brain is affected by the stroke, there will be a weakness and sensation of your body. One side part is controlled by the opposite side of the brain. Okay, for example, if you take this is a brain, if you divide this will be a left part of the brain, this is the right side part of your brain. If the left side part of the brain is affected by the stroke, we might have problems diagonal with the right side part of the body. What type of problem you might have seen? Weakness of the right side part of your body. This is one of the symptoms you see commonly in the stroke. Next, see how the slurred speech. This is one of the symptoms in the stroke cases. Okay, how it occurs? See, when oxygen supply to the brain has been cut off by blood clot, this is the symptom you are seeing in the stroke patients. This is the one of the symptoms in the stroke. Next, blood vision or loss of vision. How it occurs in the stroke patient? See, when the two nerves of the eyes which are traveling towards the brain, there in the brain itself, the brain is actually already damaged. See, damaged brain destroys this functioning of these two nerves. Therefore, both eyes of our affected. Both eyes are affected. Okay. For example, if the left side part of the brain is damaged, okay, you might have problem with the right hand side. Okay, na right side part of the eye is completely affected. Okay, na because of this condition, stroke, damaged brain. And finally, vertigo, one of the symptoms. Vertigo, see, means how vertigo is occurs when the vestibular system is impacted by the stroke. It causes a poor balance. That is vertigo. Vertigo means kallu theriginattu. Okay, na? It is one of the symptoms rarely seen in the signs of stroke patients. Next, there are some complications also will be there, such as paralysis, pakshavatam antam kada, paralysis adi. Next, difficulty in talking, unable to talk, unable to swallow. Next, loss of memory, unable to think. Okay, and there will be some behavioral changes. These are some complications you might have seen in the stroke condition patients. Okay, these are the complications and these are some signs and symptoms. Okay. See here, now we'll see some diagnostic tests. Okay, now the n number of diagnostic tests to rule out the stroke conditions. Okay, first of all, it is a physical exam. First diagnostic test or physical exam. In case of physical exam, your physician may check your BP. Okay, or your physician may evaluate or to check your heart rate with the help of this physical exam. Next test, it is they perform the blood test. See why the blood test they have performed means to evaluate how fast your blood is going to clot. They evaluate with the help of this blood test. Next, they perform the CT scan. CT scan. Okay, majorly CT scan. Why they perform the CT scan? Because CT scan gives a detailed images or complete images of your brain and to find out whether there is any damage or any trauma, okay, happened in the brain condition. Okay, next, MRI scan. It is a magnetic resonance image. It helps to detect whether the brain is damaged by the ischemic stroke. Okay, whether the brain is damaged by the ischemic stroke. Next test, that is carotid Doppler. This carotid Doppler examines the carotid artery present in the neck region and helps to find it gives a clear picture, that is whether there is any plaques or fatty materials deposits in the carotid artery in our neck region or whether the blood flow is proper or not. It gives a detailed picture of the test. Okay, now next, ECG, electrocardiogram. Okay, it helps to find a source of clot in our heart that may travel from heart region to the brain through the circulation and causes a condition called as stroke. It also one of the diagnostic tests to rule out the stroke condition. Next, finally, transcranial Doppler. It is a final diagnostic test. Okay, one of the diagnostic tests. It uses the sound waves to evaluate the blood flow in and around the brain. To evaluate the blood flow in and around the brain. These are the same diagnostic test. Okay, majorly our physicians prescribe that this CT scan and MRI scan to evaluate the stroke conditions. But there are a number of diagnostic tests. Okay, telusukodam tappaleduga. So these are some diagnostic tests to rule out the ischemic stroke. Next, finally we'll go with the treatment. Okay, treatment of ischemic stroke. This here our hero plays a key role. Our hero here is treatment, that is pharmacological treatment. See here, next, antiplatelet drugs or anticoagulant drugs mostly prescribed for the treatment of stroke conditions in the patients. Okay, let us see one by one. First, antiplatelet drugs. Why the antiplatelet drugs mostly prescribed in the stroke conditions means this antiplatelet drugs reduces the risk of getting or recurrent strokes in the patient. That is why the reason they will give or they will prescribe this antiplatelet drugs. Okay, the antiplatelet drugs also reduces the thromboxane synthesis. Thromboxane synthesis. What is the role of thromboxane synthesis? See, thromboxane is responsible for the facilitation of platelet aggregation and stimulate the platelet activation. That is why these antiplatelets go into prescribe. And finally, these antiplatelets work by making your blood less sticky and prevent the blood clot and prevents the blood clot in the artery region. That is why these antiplatelets will be prescribed in the stroke conditions. Next, we'll see anticoagulant drugs. See here, in case of anticoagulant drugs, there will be some classification will be present. Based on the classification, they will going to give the drugs to the patient, such as parenteral drugs and oral drugs. See, in case of parenteral drugs, again dividing into indirect and direct thrombin inhibitors. And see, in case of indirect thrombin inhibitors, there will be an heparin and viviparin. Whereas direct thrombin inhibitors, there will be an leberudin, bivalirudin, and argatroban. Whereas in case of oral anticoagulants, they will be given mainly warfarin and phenylephrine, dabigatran, Rivaroxaban. See, here these are some examples of the anticoagulant drug. See, here doses will be not mandatory. See why? Because the doses will be changing from person to person. Okay, based upon age. First of all, you remember the drugs. What drugs which may help for the treatment of the so and so conditions. Okay, these are the two drugs: anticoagulant drugs and antiplatelet drugs. Let us see the mechanism of anticoagulant drugs. Okay, mechanism of action, how it works to prevent the clot in the stroke conditions. Okay, let us see. Now we will discuss the mechanism of anticoagulant drugs. Okay, before going to the mechanism of anticoagulants, let me explain. To understand this mechanism of anticoagulant, let me explain some coagulation pathways briefly. There we all know that there will be two pathways, that is intrinsic pathway and extrinsic pathway, which are comes under coagulation pathways. And also we are very familiar with these two pathways, intrinsic pathways and extrinsic pathway. Okay, at last of these pathways and the finishing of these pathways, we are very familiar with the two conversions. Okay, we all know that is conversion of prothrombin to thrombin. Okay, this thrombin, it converts the fibrinogen to fibrin, and finally fibrin, it leads to a formation of blood clot, because this is the whole story behind the anticoagulant. See, let us watch this. If we give the anticoagulants to the patient for the prevention of clot in the artery in the brain region, these anticoagulants go and play a key role for the prevention of thrombin. Directly or indirectly prevents the thrombin. It directly or indirectly inhibits the thrombin. If for example, if there is the inhibition of thrombin, there is no need to conversion of this fibrinogen to fibrin, and there is no conversion of formation of blood clot, that is stable fibrin clot. There will be no formation of clot. Why? Because these anticoagulants only directly or indirectly inhibit this thrombin. If it all inhibits the thrombin, there is no further conversion at all for the formation of blood clot. That is why the reason these anticoagulants mainly prescribed by in the stroke cases by physicians. Okay, in the stroke cases. See, and also you might have seen one ADR, most common ADR in both antiplatelets and anticoagulants. That is ADR. What is that ADR means? Bleeding. Bleeding is the most common ADR you might have seen in both coagulant drugs and antiplatelet drugs. Okay. Next, you might have also said that some lifestyle modifications to the patients when a person is suffering from the stroke conditions. That is, if the patient is a chronic smoker, tell them to stop smoking. If the patient is a chronic alcoholic, tell them to stop taking alcohol. Okay. If the patient is taking high amount of food or saturated food or high cholesterol food in his diet, tell them to stop or tell them to take limit. Okay, limit amount of saturated fat in his diet. Okay, if the patient is being obese, tell them to reduce his weight. These are some lifestyle modifications for prevention of getting stroke. Okay, I think I covered nearly 80% to 90% of the disease condition that is you have seen here is stroke. I hope you all understand well. Okay, this is all about ischemic stroke. Okay, thank you.